so I'm excited to show you all. There we go. Everyone can see. There we are. Perfect. Get my cursor. All right. So real quick, we usually start with, on average, how many reams of paper do you use each month? And you're more than welcome to put in the chat how many reams of paper you on average use. Average for me that I'm hearing out in the field is 2 to 3 reams of paper, which is incredible. It's quite a bit, right? The most I've heard so far is about 26. That's the highest I've heard, especially even in this market right now. But you know, with Escrow Tab, it's exciting to be a part of the solution rather than the problem. So I'm curious to hear how many reams of paper that each of you guys are going through. Again, you're more than welcome to put it in the chat. But real quick, we'll go over, you know, just once more, an intro to Escrow Tab, how Escrow Tab works. I'll show you a demo on the actual tablet itself. I'll show you some tips around how to get started, and then we will open it up to a Q&A at the end. And like we spoke about earlier, IPEN does stand for in-person electronic notarization. It is different than RON, as we've pitted it up against RON, as you can see here. The biggest differentiator is that IPEN is in person, and that RON is being that recorded video call, right? It's like a Zoom call between two buyers, or between the buyer and the notary. So IPEN, again, you're in person, and a lot of fewer requirements, as you can see here. So I'm going to play this quick video. I apologize if it might be a little bit glitchy, but it's a great representation of exactly what a signing will look like, right? We're just switching out that big stack of paper. This industry has not been brought into technology in a very long time, if not ever, right? And we all know that it definitely is time. So as you can see, your signings won't look much different than they do today. They're still in person. And right now we're just utilizing that value add of technology. So we have that tablet flat on the Our signers in this example do have their own pen that the notary has brought with, and go over tablets and pens in a moment, but it's a very simple signing process. It likes to keep going. So we have that value add of technology, but what is that value add to you, the notary? Well, it is those two big ones. You know, it's time and money, right? I mean, updating to an Escrow Tab closing, well, it means no more printing, scanning, FedExing. It means, my favorite one, when you're on your way to a closing, like I said before, and the docs have changed, well, the closing company can correct and re-upload in real time. It also means that if a borrower signs on the wrong line and you clear that, you can just clear that page. It also means table, the best part is you just head to your next assignment. So a couple of quotes or feedback, some reviews from some of our users. Allison, which is a mortgage op manager from Union Bank and Trust, lets us know that offers us an easier, more efficient process than a hybrid solution. And Nathan Bosser, who's the president of Boston National Title, he says that it doesn't disrupt. It simply adds technology to the process that lenders have in place. And this is one of the key things that we stress to our title companies, is that we're not here to change your process. And that's huge, right? We're here to help it and add that value of technology. And then also Kristen Weiss, one of our notaries, she lets us know, went backwards, trying to move it up, that it's efficiency, accuracy, and automation that benefits all parties. And it really does. And I think as we show you this today, you'll agree. All right, so how does it work? So as we do, you can electronically sign and notarize all closing documents, and we are approved through all the board, including Ginnie Mae, and is available nationwide. But how it works is, like I stated before, the title company will go ahead and upload those documents to the Escrow Tab vault, and then they will assign to you, the notary. Now, this is after you've accepted this signing, just as you're accepting signings today. So really, again, the key thing here is that your process does not change. You're going to accept the signing the exact way you're accepting signings today. It will be labeled an Escrow Tab signing. The title company will upload those documents to Escrow Tab, assigned to you, the notary, and from there, you'll go ahead and just continue on the process that you're already used to with your closings. And again, those benefits, those huge ones, right? No printing, copying, or mailing, no missed signatures or any other missing pages, and also no system integrations. It's just using that tablet. It's simple. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing on my actual desktop, and we'll give you a quick demonstration. Let's see, I'm going to grab my tablet so it doesn't look like I'm looking this way. And I'll start sharing here. Perfect. Let me see if it's coming up. Awesome. All right. So I have my tablet in hand. As you can kind of see, it's a little bit blurry. And I'm going to pretend that the title company has sent me a closing. So I've accepted the Escrow Tab closing. They've uploaded those documents. And now I'm ready to be at the closing table. So as I turn my tablet on, I'm taken right to my documents page. I have quite a few documents here. So each one of these, as say test in front of it, think of that as a separate closing. So we're going to work on the very top one that says test-demo.pdf. Now the little circle with the arrow pointing down, that is a new feature we just added called Escrow Tab Anywhere. This will allow you to actually take a signing anywhere, because you do not need Wi-Fi. You're able to click this little arrow pointing down while you're in Wi-Fi, which will essentially download the documents to the app within the device, right? It does so for 5 days and then allows you to do a signing literally anywhere. We were joking the other day that you can now do a signing on a ski lift, where you probably could have done it in paper before, but paper would have been flying everywhere, or even the same thing on a boat. You don't want to get those papers wet or flying off the boat. Now with Escrow Tab, you can do a signing literally anywhere because you do not need Wi-Fi. So I'm going to go ahead with my pen and I'm going to go ahead and click on open. And from here, I'm going to go ahead and click on start signing. Now, quick tour of some of the features. Up on the left-hand corner, there is a rectangle. When I click that rectangle, it's going to elongate the document like for any of those legal size pages. And when I click it again, it slides it right back down. In the middle of the document is our signature pages. I'm going to move this over here. It lets you know how many pages actually do require signatures with Escrow Tab. I love this for time management. In my opinion, this lets me know, hey, I've got this many that require signatures and this is how many I have left to do. So I either can slow down or, I need to speed it up a little bit. And then on the right side is how you'll navigate through the pages. So by clicking the arrows from left to right, you have complete control over the signing. So you can move through the pages back and forth as much as you like. Now, we understand, though, if this is a 100-page document and you want to get back to page 1, clicking an arrow 100 times is not ideal. So you are able to click directly on that key or that toolbar itself. It brings up this page select screen. Now, this is the only time I like to use my finger in Escrow Tab, is just to slide this dot to whichever page I'm looking for. And when I click off, it takes me right to the page that I was trying to find. Also, this page select tool, if I'm looking for any document that needs to be notarized, as you can see on page 7, I'm looking for a blue rubber stamp. So let's pretend I've had my signer sign the document and now I'm ready to notarize the document. I can find those notarized pages pretty quickly by moving this dot down the slider. And as I see any of these blue rubber stamps, I know that I need to stop and notarize that page. So I'll go back to page 1. Now, the very first document that you will see is that e-sign consent, otherwise known as the electronic record and signature disclosure agreement. It's a 4-page document that is at the beginning of all of the digital signings or IPEN signings that is allowing for the signing to take place on a tablet. Now, at the end of the 4th page, it does require signatures, as you can see here. Now, this document or this page does have 2 required fields, as you can see on the top left. And it's also shown right here, 2 required fields. So as you can see, signer 1 is yellow and signer 2 is blue, and they'll remain that color through the entirety of the signing. Now, this is doc prepped, meaning that we are showing required fields. You cannot miss any of these signature fields. But how do our documents become doc prepped, right? How do these highlights and required fields just appear on our documents? Well, when a title company does come on board with Escrow Tab, they'll typically send us a copy of their documents, buyer docs, seller docs, any docs they have, right? We'll go ahead and we'll run them through our OCR technology. That is where we're looking for any of those fields that are signature fields, initials, dates, anything that we know should be required. We're going to mark all those documents up, and then typically we'll send it back to the title company and they'll review it. And at that time, if there's any part of the document set that they would like to add to make required, they're able to do so. So then we know anytime a document or a certain page is uploaded, and maybe it's a box that is maybe skipped and the title company doesn't want it to be skipped anymore, right? They can go ahead and have that box show as required. So you do not have to do anything for doc prep. It's done for you. It's done prior to even the signing being uploaded at some point, because we essentially create a template. If it's a document we've never seen before that's uploaded from the title company, well, again, we're just looking for those fields such as signatures, initials, or even dates. So for signer 1, I'm going to use my pen, and I'm going to apply my forensically verifiable handwritten signature. I always try to do a pretty signatures. I know you guys are all judging my signature. I'm just kidding. But however, you can see that the yellow highlight does disappear. You can also see that it does mirror that of a blue ballpoint pen, and my signature is forensically verifiable. So like I stated before, it's forensically verifiable by the amount of pressure points I apply when I sign my name. So again, it's 2,800 pressure points. I think that's a really key fun point to point out during your signing. I think that if I was the consumer, knowing that as I'm signing my name, like this is what makes it forensically verifiable is pretty cool. So for signer 2, we'll go ahead and we'll just put a little signature there, and we'll move to page 5. So at the top of the screen, you can see that it does show 3 required fields as notated down below. We can see 3 required fields here. Now, we're always going to make sure that our signers, as they do sign our documents, do know the date, because these are required fields. We are not looking for correct information. So we want to make sure that they know the date or know the year, as I made a mistake here. I did so on purpose. However, if you do make a mistake with Escrow Tab, you do have the option up at the top of the page where it says erase page. You can click on erase page. Currently, you only have the option to erase page. And when you click this button, it's going to erase the page that you're currently working on, and erases the whole page. However, in the next few weeks, we're going to be adding another option here, and this will allow you to actually undo your last entry. So you'll have 2 options eventually, not just erase page. But I'll go ahead and click erase page here. It's going to erase the page that I'm currently working on, allowing me to re-enter that date in. I can't believe it's already the end of the month. So we'll go ahead and enter that date in correctly. And now I'll go ahead and have Joe sign, and I'm going to leave Sally's signature blank, and we'll come back to it. So I'll go ahead and move to page 6. All right, so we're always going to think of the document just as you would paper. So if you've ever crossed something out on a document before and written in, you still can. If you've ever had a mistake and you've crossed that mistake out, rewritten it, the correct information, and then maybe even initialed, you can still do so. Boxes will still be X'd or checked. Anything you can do on paper, you can do on Escrow Tab. I mean, literally anything. Think of it this way. These documents are going to be uploaded back up to the system. It's going to look just as they would if a document was scanned and sent over, right? So anything you can do on paper, you can do on Escrow Tab. So we'll go ahead and we'll have Bruce sign, and we'll have Betty sign, and we'll move to our 7th and final page. So this is a document, or this document does need to be notarized. So we'll go ahead and have our signer sign. I'll go ahead and just put some squiggles in for any of the notary information. And as you can see, that notary information is highlighted in a different color as well. So you'll have your own color, knowing that that is where you need to enter your information in. So we'll put those required fields. Oops, I hit the the Zoom part. And now we need to use our notary stamp. So the notary stamp is up above. Now I'll go over notary stamps in a moment. However, Escrow Tab will create your notary stamp for you for free. So if you have purchased a notary stamp somewhere, hang on to it. You may need it for maybe another signing platform. However, Escrow Tab is going to collect your notary information once you're an e-notary with your Secretary of State, and then we'll create your stamp for you for free. So with my pen, I'm going to go ahead and click on Notary, the notary icon. Once it's highlighted, think of that as me picking my notary stamp up. And now that notary stamp is actually loaded into my pen. And anywhere that I tap my pen to the tablet, my notary stamp will appear. Now I know this is not where the notary stamp goes, but my Zoom link is over the correct spot. However, it's just like actual notary stamp, right? If I could even add additional notary stamps to this page, not that you would, but you can. It's just like paper. So we're at the end of the document. As you can see, we're 7 to 7. And on the right side, we'll go ahead and hit complete. Now we'll verify that we are complete with the document, and it's going to do a really quick scan of any missed required fields. And as you can see, we're missing a signature on page 5. But if you notice the two options, one of them being skip and continue. Now, this will allow me to, if at any time during the signing, if one of my signers is not going to sign a page, maybe there's a certain line they're not going to sign that required field, or maybe it's a check mark that they're not going to check off. Whatever the case may be, if there's any required field that our signers do not participate in, you're able to skip it. However, we're going to bring it to your attention and make sure you did not intend to skip it. Now, in our case, we did not mean to miss that signature. So here's where we say, oh my goodness, I love Escrow Tab because missing signatures stinks, right? Nobody ever means to, and it happens, and it just is never fun when it does. So with Escrow Tab, you never do. So we'll go ahead, we'll click on Review and Revise. And it takes us right to the page that we're missing that required field, which was Sally's signature. So we'll have Sally sign, and we'll go right back to complete. We can hit complete from any page that we're on. So we'll go ahead once more, we'll hit complete. We'll verify again that we are complete. And after doing a quick scan of the document, it lets us know that we have completed all of the documents. And from here, we're able to verify and submit the document. Once I do click verify and submit as the notary, the documents are taken from my tablet. So they're not saved on your tablet, and they do not stick around. Once you hit verify and submit, they're gone. They're now tamper proof, and the title company actually receives an email letting them know that the documents have been completed, and they're off to do everything that they do in title. You'll also notice the other option that we have is save and exit. This is a great option for if you have two signers that, again, this still needs to be in person, but let's say you have husband and wife. Husband's coming in the morning and wife's coming in the afternoon. You're able to complete the signing with the husband, and then later you can complete the signing with the wife if need be. Also, it's a great option as well if there's some sort of emergency that happens to pop up during the signing. You're able to save the document and exit, and then reopen that signing session when it's a better time. So I'm not going to actually click verify and submit just yet. In case we do have any questions, I can refer back to this actual document set, but I'm going to stop sharing here, but we'll pretend that I did. And as soon as I hit submit, that title company, like we stated before, does go ahead and receive those closing documents. I'm going to go back to my desktop. There we go. Perfect. And we'll go over the fun stuff. All right, that's sharing. There we go. Okay. All right, so in order to become an Escrow Tab enabled user, so you do need to meet your state's requirements. I know you guys are in Alabama, as each state does have their own rules and regulations, so make sure that you do follow those to become an e-notary. And then once you've done so you'll go ahead and you'll create a free account within Escrow Tab, which is very simple to do. And I think I have actually a screen of it right here. Here we go. So you'll sign up for Escrow Tab at escrowtab.com. We'll put that in the chat in a moment. It's under the signing agent tab. but you'll create your free account, and this is exactly where that you'll enter in your stamp information. Once you have entered in your eNotary stamp information, which that's going to be your same stamp information that you have now, from there, we're going to email you a master servicing agreement. Once you've signed that agreement, then we will go ahead and send you information on how to actually obtain a tablet. And I'll put that information up here. So once you've signed that master servicing agreement, this is where the fun part is with a tablet, right? So we are currently selling Microsoft Surface Pro X's. They're $699. It does come with one Bluetooth pen. However, you are able to bring your own device. So if you do have a tablet, it must meet our system requirements, as you can see here. Those requirements are a Microsoft Surface Pro X, and obviously it comes with the Bluetooth. I apologize. I thought I switched out this actual picture. However, we're also allowing the Microsoft Surface Pro 9. If it's an Apple product, it needs to be the Apple 12.9-inch iPad Pro. Again, it needs to be the larger one. All of these screens on each one of these tablets are actually almost about a 13-inch. We're really trying to show the tablet about the same size as a piece of paper, right? And then if it's a Samsung product, it can actually be a Samsung Galaxy S8 Ultra or even the S7, which is not notated on this screen. You are able to lease a tablet with Escrow Tab if that is an option that you'd like to choose. It's $69.99 a month. It has a 6-month minimum, so keep that in mind. And it's not a lease to own. So it is a straight lease. So it's $69.99 month over month. But that is up to you. But the purchase of a tablet is the only investment that you, the notary, will make in Escrow Tab, which is pretty exciting, right? So once you've received your tablet, like I stated before, we will send out some dates and times. We do about 6 to 8 trainings each and every month. So we try to do those sporadically to fit within your schedule. I like to tell my notaries that just go ahead and register for one of those training dates. And we always send a reminder an hour before training. And if you do receive a signing and need to cancel, we want you to go to your signings, right? So then you can go ahead and re-register for a new training date. But training is with me. Like I stated before, it's an hour long on a Teams webinar, similar to how we're doing here. And we go over all the good stuff about what to bring to a signing. And make it a lot of fun. So let me go here. Got a couple resources. We can always share this information. And then if it's okay with Daniel, we can open it up to questions.